I'm going to go through the SPAN app really quick and talk about some of the features you can find when using the SPAN app. So inside of the SPAN app, you will see if it's connected to solar, you'll see the solar production and you'll see your home's consumption. And if you have batteries, you'll also see the battery charge level and whether it's being charged, discharged, or on standby. You'll also see the grid and see if you're pulling any energy from the grid or net metering back to the grid right on the home page when you open the SPAN app. Scrolling down, you'll see what circuits are using the most power, which is kind of nice. At a quick glance, you'll be able to see what's drawing the most power out of that particular SPAN panel. Right now, my second floor geothermal is pulling 153 watts, and it's the top thing that's using the energy inside of that panel. And I can see the other circuits that are using the energy, and kind of it goes from, most used to less used on that portion of the SPAN app. If you want more detail, you can click on View All Circuits, and it'll allow you to view all the circuits in order of consumption. But then you can also view them in the panel as if you open your SPAN panel, the door, and you're looking into the panel, and you see the various breakers, 1, 3, 2, 4. You can see it's just a good visual kind of to better understand, as you're looking into your panel and what's being used and where it's located. You can also set up areas where you can create different areas of your home and tie different breakers to that area, so you can monitor the consumption or different behaviors of that particular area. A little bit nicer to kind of monitor things. So you can also, on the home page, look at how much battery you have, if you have batteries and you have the SPAN panel. It'll tell you how much percentage the batteries are charged up to. You can also explore battery stats for a deep dive on what's going on with your batteries. And what's really cool is, based on the battery storage, you can actually see, and of course based on your consumption you're using at the current moment, you can see how much backup that gives you. So right now, the batteries I have are charged up to 61%, and that'll give me 14 hours and 32 minutes for my must-have circuits. These are the circuits that I need to have running regardless of what's happening: the freezer, the refrigerator, some essential appliances in the household. These are things that I've identified as must-have circuits, and I have 14 hours worth of usage for those must-have circuits. Now, my nice-to-have circuits, I have 51 minutes, meaning if I lost power right now, those nice-to-have circuits would be used for 51 minutes, and then the workflow would shut them off, and then I would move on to my must-have circuits so that I don't drain the battery unnecessarily on stuff that I don't really need to have running. You can also explore home stats in the app, and you can see how much energy you used during the week and where it went. So if you have electric vehicles, typically that's going to be your highest energy use, followed by heating and cooling. So right now, looking at this app, 77% of the energy I used has gone to my vehicle charging. For my electric vehicles that we drive around, we drive a fair amount, so that'll change from one individual to the next. But heating and cooling typically is our number 2. And that's at 15%, and then 7% appliances, and then it drops off from there. Again, you can explore more about your home stats and dive into your usage, your consumption, and figure out where you're using it, when you're using it, and then kind of put the pieces together and figure out why you are consuming what you're consuming, and then ultimately that translates into how much you're spending on your utility bill or how much consumption you're pulling from your solar that you're producing. It also gives you cool stats like how much carbon you avoided this week for folks that are concerned about their carbon footprint. And a neat little tidbit inside of the app is where the grid you're attached to got its energy that week. And kind of interesting, you can see in my app, 28% of the energy from the grid was from nuclear sources. 39% was natural gas. 23% was coal. And you can just kind of go through and see, and we actually had 6% wind, 2% solar. You can kind of see where the grid got its energy, and it just builds an awareness of where the grid system is pulling its energy from and what impacts you as being part of solar and batteries can have on that overall ecosystem and that overall sourcing of energy for the grid's needs. When you go through, again, you can go through the circuits, you can go through various stats, weekly, monthly, annually. And what's cool right now, it's in beta, but you can actually toggle over to beta cost, and it'll take your consumption and translate it based on your utility rate into the cost of what these various circuits are costing you on, again, a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. So if I toggle over to the year, I can look at my chargers. Of course, the year just started. It's mid-January right now, but it looks like my geothermal cost me about $10. Looks like my electric vehicle chargers cost me about $60 to charge, the vehicles. And again, those are the heaviest hitters when it comes to consumption in a fully electric household. Typically, it's the transportation for your electric vehicles, depending on your driving behavior, followed by your heating and cooling, which are the heaviest loads of consumption. And then, of course, you have your feed inside of the app. You have various settings. You can switch your panels on the settings tab and do numerous things through the app. The Span app is really intuitive. It's great for load shedding. It's great for setting up your workflows. So when you go into your backup settings, this is where you identify different circuits as being must-have, nice to have, or non-essential. So, and once you lose power, the non-essential circuits are going to be turned off. The nice to have circuits are going to be on until the battery reaches a certain level, so that your must have circuits can have as much juice as possible for if and when that power goes out. So again, you make sure that your freezer, your refrigerator, any of the essential things in your house have power that will last through that power outage until the power comes back on, or the next day the sun comes up, you produce clean electricity again, you consume it, charge up your batteries, and that cycle continues indefinitely. So yeah, the Span app is amazing, it's very intuitive, and we love the Span app coupled with the Span products. All of our homeowners really enjoy it, and it's just a great software feature to their great hardware stack.